welcome back to the GSL Code A with Caldor and Wolf. Our next match is going to be Alicia versus Bomber. We already saw a pretty sick match between Vines and Lucky. It was actually so cutthroat and so close in both of those last two games especially.
Yeah, it was really great, and the next game is going to be another highlight. We have Bomber, he dropped down to Code B, he just qualified in last Code A qualifier. He was actually up against the FXO player in the last round, won with 2-1 in the Terran Mirror match. I remember this quite well. I was standing behind him and watching his games, and now we have him in the first round against Alicia, which is going to be a very interesting match. So the first map, Daybreak?
Yeah. This is definitely going to be an interesting match to see. I really like Daybreak as a map. It's like my favorite starting map because I feel like it really sets the pace for what you run into basically in this best of 3. Now, of course, you can see Alicia's winning record is about 50%, 23 wins, 23 losses. He's someone who in the past impressed me a lot, but recently has not. You know, his strategies seem a little bit shaky at times. Bomber, on the other hand, is like the king of inconsistency. He either looks like the best player in the world or he looks like someone who's full of himself. And I think we've talked about this before. We talked about this in the GSL finals in Vegas, for example. If he wins, he becomes on this unstoppable streak. So this first game, I think, is going to be very important for him.
Yeah, he's a little bit like a vampire, isn't he? When he smells blood, he just goes for it.
Exactly.
And, well, we have the first map coming up, Daybreak, as mentioned, Alicia against Bomber, and we'll see if Bomber is able to show us his A-game today. We already had a few Slayers players playing in the earlier round, and let's see if Alicia is able to win his match and to join Yu-Gi-Oh! In the second round of the GSL Code A.
Yeah, he may very well be able to do that. It's going to take a lot, though, to beat Bomber. It's a map a lot of Terrans have been complaining about Protoss with. We'll see if he can take this match. It's game 1 on Daybreak of the GSL Code A round of 48 with Caldor and Wolf.
Starting to the bottom left, we have our Protoss player starting for the Slayers team. He's straight from the up and down matches in order to compete in the first round of Code A. It is
Slayers Alicia.
And on Daybreak, to the top right, we have Alicia's opponent. As mentioned before, he was able to win the Code A qualifier after he dropped from Gracie. He dropped down into Code B. And this is a player with very innovative builds, and we have in the blue, starting for StarTale.
StarTale Bomber.
Alicia is such a hard player to predict, in my opinion. When you play against this guy, you don't know what you're up against. He could 4-gate you even. You know, he's been known to do Void Ray all-ins quite often. There was a time when he was Void Ray all-inning against almost everybody he encountered when Protoss were struggling, and this is a long time ago, but he's shown that he knows how to all-in. He knows how to do a Blink Stalker all-in against Terran. You very rarely see that, but he knows how to do it, and he just might pull it out.
Alicia has a so-so record against Terran, and just lately he lost a couple of matches. He lost twice to Thorzane, and, well, let's face it, after Thorzane's performance at DreamHack, I don't think anybody will say that this is a huge upset.
Yeah.
So Thorzane playing so well, and he was able to defeat Alicia, for example, in the NASL at Season 3. But besides the win against Beastie Cutie at the EG Masters Cup, Alicia didn't do all too well against Protoss. He lost to the STC in the GSL season up and downs. He lost to Maru, he lost to SC, and, well, he is struggling a little bit, so we'll see if he's able to overcome it. And look, we have an Alicia, an Alive barracks.
Yeah, we do indeed, and it's really basically designed to punish Nexus first. But it's a build that can still put pressure on a 1-gate expand as well. Depends on how it's executed.
Yep.
It's so tricky because the probe will always see this and think, oh, okay, 1 barracks expand, and he might even cut some corners as a result.
Okay, guys, if you haven't seen this before, what Bomber at this point basically does, he builds 1 proxy barracks, he scouts, has a quick look what exactly the Protoss player is doing. If he gets the feeling that the Protoss is too greedy and that he can get aggressive, then he uses the second barracks, uses the Marines, pulls a couple of SCVs and starts to just go for it, builds a few bunkers and starts to punish him. But as you can see, the position has been scouted because this is just a strategy that has become more popular lately. What the Terran player can do if it's been scouted, he just exactly, this lifts it off and flies it back to the main base. You don't lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
You can build your expansion. You don't have any gas. So here's the command center. No harm done.
Yeah, no harm done. All that really, the only harm done, I guess you could say, is a little bit of a later command center. But he already has 2 barracks powered up, so his army count is going to be a little bit better earlier on, and he has a little bit more pressure timings he can use. So it's basically a win-win situation no matter what, unless you commit to pressure and it fails. That's the only way that this build can be bad. And I really, really like this build being thrown in there every now and then. It's something that's becoming more popular, especially in Korea. Now, the problem for Bomber right now is that there are a Zealot and Stalker running up his ramp, and he doesn't have a bunker in place. This could be potentially bad.
This could be really bad, but at the top, yeah, we have the Marines.
Alicia messing up his control a little bit here. Needs to send the Zealot in first.
He needs to be a little bit more careful, especially because more Marines are now just joining the fight.
That was an okay trade, but it could have been better. And Bomber's command center finishes up here. He's going to go ahead and add that 3rd barracks. May opt to add a 4th, but it's not necessary for him. You might even see him. Yeah, he's already taken his gas, so probably not going to be adding that 4th one anytime soon.
And that's the bunker. He needs one, also very important, for example, to negate 3-gate pressure. And we've seen a lot of Protoss players just trying to exploit greedy Terran play with 3-gate pressure. You can get very, very aggressive with it. At this point, we have the follow-up for Alicia. He's going for 2 additional gateways.
Yep. This is, this map, I feel like more than any other map, is a good map for this Marine pressure follow-up because you can attack from multiple angles. There's a single ramp at the front that, you know, unless you kill the rocks, it's a double ramp. But you can attack from the other side as well. And with Sim coming out here, 2nd gas being taken from Bomber, I think we're going to see him just do that very quick Sim timing, with hit with the Marines, try to do as much damage as he can with it. You can trade pretty well with that because Marines are so easy to replace. If you can kill some high gas units, it's a really good pressure build to do.
The one thing that amazes me a little bit about Bomber is that, well, we talked about the statistics for Alicia a little bit, that he is, well, not really shaky against Terran, but that it's still a matchup where he has a few problems.
Yeah.
And the matchup against Protoss is, if we just watch the past matches that he had, is a matchup where Bomber kind of excels. He has a very nice record with a 65% win ratio, but if you just look at the recent games that he played against Protoss, he lost every single one of them. He lost to Squirtle with 2-0 at the IGN Pro League. He lost to Creator in the GSTL, to Sage at the IGN Pro League Team Arena, and to Creator once again in the same tournament. So Protoss, the TVP matchup is apparently something that he recently has not been all too comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely not. And I mean, when he does win this matchup, though, he looks so strong in it. And I feel like part of the problem for Bomber is he does these crazy things sometimes where, like right now, he's salvaged both bunkers and moved out. That's not even necessarily the right choice to make here. And making it at this point in the game is a little bit risky. Sometimes he is too defensive. Sometimes he cuts too many corners. And I feel like sometimes he has holes in his play that Protoss players find and exploit. Templar Archives coming down here from Alicia. This is something you very rarely see from Slayer's Protosses. You can see it sometimes.
That's a ton of gates.
Yeah.
Adding 3 additional gates, and he skipped the robo completely. No, actually, sorry, I take it back.
He skipped the forge.
Yeah, he has the robo already. There's no forge, but we have him now with the Templar Archive tech right away.
Yeah, this is pretty good against what we see from Bomber, who's making his command center in a weird place, not at his 3rd base, but near his 3rd base. I find that to be a little bit strange. Starting to add Marauders into the mix here, and we'll probably go with the first 2 medevacs and +1, something that basically all Terrans are doing in Korea right now. No matter how they open, they hit with the first 2 medevacs and stim, and sometimes combat shields as well, but always the +1.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly this command center positioning is about.
He may think there's a pylon hidden over there or something, because sometimes he'll put pylons behind the middle line to swap for drops and the command center, but you could have just checked for it with the SCV and then built it there, so I don't know.
He could have just checked it and he didn't, so yeah, it's a little bit weird. But well, we have now, by the way, basically the same amount of harvesters. And with Bomber is now moving out with his bio army. He has the first medivac, so this is basically the point where you start to think about dropping, where you think about, okay, well, I have the first medivacs, I can get a little bit more aggressive, I can just posture, I can try to drop into the main base and just see if my opponent is ready for it.
Yeah.
He needs to be careful though, because there is already a Templar Archive, so feedback is a threat.
Yeah, and in fact, he has a High Templar waiting in his main base for just that. The medevacs are fairly fresh though, so he won't be able to kill them straight out, because they only have about 80 energy apiece. Needs 150 energy to one-shot the medevac. But even so, hitting it, then killing the stalkers can be quite good, and even depleting the energy is obviously very awesome if you can get away with it.
And it's just scary as hell.
It is, man.
If you move in and suddenly you have those feedbacks and you're not fully aware of how much energy your medevac actually has, you're just like, whoa, better get out of here.
Yeah, it's pretty frightening. And we already see Viking production here coming out for Bomber, as if he's not 100% sure what his opponent's doing, but he's just going to take a guess. No Ghost Academy. Armory is going down so we can get those 2-2 upgrades. It's very nice timing. And of course, the double forges are going down for Alicia at this point. The units of Bomber have retreated. It looks like he doesn't feel comfortable moving in right now. He's very much in the dark. He does see the third base. That's something that's really important to note. He saw that with the factory.
Scouting Factory is roaming the map. We have now the double upgrades with the double forge that he just completed. Charge as well, getting a lot of upgrades here. And in the position that he's currently in, Slayer's Alicia will just be happy to sit tight. He's just sitting back right now and just waiting for Bomber to make a move, waiting to check if there's going to be some kind of drop play, and he will just wait before he's going to move out. The upgrade advantage is in favor of Bomber, who is already researching the +2 attack upgrade. He's going for +1 armor. And we see him with the Ghost Academy, and he definitely needs it, as we have already a few High Templars in the mix, and Storm is done.
You know, he started the Ghost Academy now. He only made 4 Vikings, or 2 Vikings. He only made 2 Vikings, so I wonder why that was. I think he expected perhaps his opponent to move out and show the Colossi earlier if he was going to make them. And the Vikings are actually up at the top to stop potential warp prisms from coming in. That's really interesting how he's done that. Now this little situation we have over here could be quite bad for Alicia, because his units may get caught. He's losing a few of them there. If he loses this main part of his army, it's not going to be good.
Oh, we have a lot of High Templars though. No Ghosts just yet. Is he able to get a Storm in there? No, not engaging.
Yeah, he sees the Ghost. He's like, or rather the High Templar. He's like, I can't engage this right now. Lucky for Alicia, he was able to get this High Templar there. I thought for a moment he was going to run in with his Zealots without them. Now third base is fully mining for Alicia. He sees his opponent's third with the Observer right now, and Bomber at this point is trying to decide what his next move is. Does he want to commit and try to trade? Is he going to just drop his opponent while he continues to build up his army? He's got a second starport on the way, so he's getting +1 for those ship weapons as well, just because he knows that eventually he's going to be dealing with Colossi as well, so he wants to build that infrastructure. Speaking of which, it's already on the production tab, robotic support bay.
We have the robotic support bay, so with the third base and all the economy that he gets, the additional income, he's now in a position where he can open up additional tech trees, and that's exactly what he does. And this is going to get a bit scary, so Bomber has to try to take the initiative here. He has a supply lead. This is not going to be easy. Trying to retreat here once again. He just can't attack into these High Templars, and Alicia has a very decent split with them, so EMPs will definitely be an issue, but as long as he splits those High Templars before the fight actually starts, he will be in a good position to save the energy.
Yep. Oh, this is a really good position for Bomber, picking off some units right away. The Templar were too far away to Storm. Oh, he runs through the Storms, taking a lot of hits there. 4 kills in total, but his army heavily damaged as a result. Needs to use those Ghosts.
Very well done, and there might be another one. No, Snipe goes off. +3 attack started for Bomber. He is about to finish the +2 armor upgrade, and oh, he's going to flank him. Wow, an A move here. Actually, not a right click.
Oh,
and here we go.
Sick EMP though.
What an intense EMP, and
Alicia's screwed,
expansion
man.
is done.
He's screwed, dude. His game's over. That EMP changes everything. He even drops his trademark Bomber Mules.
The third is gone already. Bomber should be careful with the mules. When he lost to Marinkin Prime because of these mules at the GSL finals, he needs to be a little bit more careful about them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something I agree with as well. There's a bad rally on a Colossus over here.
What is this Colossus doing? He's trying to run away. He doesn't want to participate in the fight. He's like, this is over. I have to get out of here.
He's trying to get out of this game, man. And some really good Storms do change the tide of battle here a little bit. It just simply doesn't matter, though. And the Colossus, which followed the rally of the Observer, is just going to get taken out here. This Colossus was dropped on its head out of the Robo.
Run, Forrest, run! Well, already a little bit too late.
Does take out the Vikings, I guess.
I'm still waiting for the headbutt upgrade for Colossi so that they finally can challenge the Vikings.
Oh man, this is just getting, like you said, it's getting from bad to worse. I think it's getting from worse to worst at this point. As more pros being taken out here, he almost got that Colossus as well. And he may even drop into this little cranny in the main base. There's not a lot of space for Zealots to attack. Bomber's army supply right now is 108 to 94, but he has that third base up. He's got good tech. He's got better upgrades than his opponent. He's got all this really strong infrastructure right now.
We have a 4th for Bomber, so he's about to finish +3/+3, and he still has this drop, and now he's dropping in the base, but here come the feedbacks. Oh, he actually missed one on one of the medivacs.
But this is a great position for these units because the Zealots can't really attack.
And the same is obviously true for the Archon that was about to morph here.
Oh, he may be able to take out this 4th base because the units of Bomber are a little bit out of position, and Alicia trying to claw his way back into this game. He gets the command center.
Command center dies, and now 153 supply against 182, still 3 base against 3.
Yeah,
but the upgrade advantage for Bomber.
That is going to be the biggest problem here, because even though it's going to be 3 base against 3 base, and potentially 4 base against 3 base, as Alicia is now double expanding, he will not be able to win a fight without really, really good storms. And right now, he only has 3 High Templar, and I believe 2 of those are in the main base. Okay, he's sending 2 of those down now, so he will have the 3 together. It's all going to come down to these EMPs. That Templar has enough energy for 1 Storm. And Stormy does, but it doesn't hit anything.
He didn't even hit a single hit point of those ghosts. And this makes us to be cancelled.
Yeah, he has to cancel it. He's going to wait till the last second. Does cancel it. And he does have his 3rd base up and saturated again now, but Bomber is not going to waste any time. He's going to go right in there. And this is the moment where it's 3-3 against 2-2.
EMPs. And there they are. He's EMPing everything. There are no shields left anywhere. But the Colossi, there are not enough Vikings. The Colossi are actually doing a fair amount of damage here.
Yeah,
but Bomber with sheer force, is he trying to take it?
It looks like with these Vikings coming here, he will be able to take it out. He just has too many upgrades, and Alicia will not hold here.
That's too much. There is simply too much. He does not have the numbers anymore. He's stimming in. He's taking down the last Colossi, and the 3rd dies again. While we have Alicia down at 85 supply against 180.
Yep, and the last probes will escape here. Bomber's force is pretty low on hit points, but with the medevac stealing them, it just doesn't matter. They have the sheer hit power. GG.
And the Bomber moves called down right away. This was a slaughter in the end.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
After the 3rd base died for the first time, Alicia was facing a losing battle.
Yeah, Bomber kind of played this game a little bit blind. I feel like even going for a few Vikings before getting that Ghost Academy out. Alicia was very passive, and even so, lost his 3rd base, and that's where Bomber got his lead from the start. He had better upgrade timings, I feel like. He kind of pushed through the mid-game, even though he was a little bit passive before he attacked that 3rd base. He got his upgrades better than his opponent. He powered up his barracks a little better. It's weird to say that he out-macroed his opponent, but I feel like he just had more stuff. I mean, he just played better. He had his 3rd base at a better timing. He had his production facilities up at a better timing, and his upgrades were further ahead. And that's all there really was to it.
The EMP at the fight was just amazing. And the EMP hit everything that he needed to hit, and from this point on, it was just such a great game for Bomber. Before that, he was running into 1 or 2 storms that really took his army, the hit points of his army down, but still, Bomber playing very well here and taking the game, claiming victory. And now we have the 2nd map. We have Atlantis Spaceship coming up.
Atlantis Spaceship, very new. I guess not as new as it was once before I left Korea. So happy to be back. I just want to keep saying it. I'm like, guys, guess what?
What is the thing that you missed the most about Korea?
I think there's a tie between the girls and the food. I'm not sure. I miss the public transportation system. This is when I go on like a 30-minute rant about like how much I love this country. We can't do that. I mean, maybe some other time. Maybe like when I get my new computer. I'm trying to get that tomorrow. If I can get that tomorrow, maybe I can stream. I can just go on camera and talk about all the things I missed for hours and hours. But you know what? Actually, I missed you more than the food and the girls.
That is so amazing. I want to hug you right now, but it would be a weird moment, so I do this when we are off camera.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
I'm flattered.
I know I look a little bit weird right now, too. Like, I'm like that wife is like, well, I'm a little sweaty. Like, Oh, man. I've been wanting to ask you about this while I was gone. I thought about this on the plane.
I was jealous, by the way, when I watched those streams. I was like, Apollo, sorry, you can have Total Biscuit, but you can't have my wolf. This is my lone wolf. Get your own lone wolf.
I had a lot of fun with Apollo, but it wasn't the same, you know? It just wasn't the same. He had this weird stuff on the top of his head. I couldn't get used to it.
Talking about weird stuff on top of his head, did you see the haircuts for Sasa and Naniwa?
Yeah.
And you turned me into this person who actually pays attention to hairstyles right now.
Yeah, it's good that you're learning. I actually was on my flight to Beijing with both of those guys. Talked to them a lot.
It looked really sharp.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Naniwa and I both look like twins today, actually, with our, the unshaven faces and general sad-looking demeanor walking through the airport, going through customs together. But it was a lot of fun. We got to hang out with them. I enjoyed it.
And we bridged the time to the next game.
Yeah,
the map started Alicia against Bomber Guys. GSL, Code A with Calvin Wolf.